you have to mentally and physically show up for each show. Is that something that used to go through your head?
Absolutely. That's the difference between being an amateur, even if you're getting paid, and a professional. It
Yes.
was one famous Philadelphia DJ said, the difference is focus. You have to be able to come in every day, even if you don't feel up to it. You've got a job to do because radio is not just information, it's entertainment and it's
Yeah.
community service. It's all three of those things. So, yes, you have to put yourself in a mindset to be disciplined enough to come in early, do your background work because you just don't turn the microphone on and start talking. It's interesting. You mentioned AFN. When I was at NPR, that was one of the channels that we had broadcasting globally, primarily
Mhm.
to Europe and the Middle East. So
Yes.
we had AFN, we had several other channels too. Before I left, I was running those channels internationally.
Yeah, that was an interesting time. Because I grew up on AFN because I was a military brat. So it was kind of an honor for me that my last job in the Army was to be a station manager for AFN. And that's a time I'm always going to treasure.
We had a channel which was the only FM channel ever licensed by NPR, was in Berlin, Germany.
Yes.
And Voice of America, the mission of Voice of America was really to give a positive spin and a positive perspective on the
Hmm.
United States. So Voice of America lost the frequency. NPR acquired the frequency in the late 1990s, mid 1990s. And so we broadcast in Berlin, Germany, too. And I actually ran that station from the United States and was there a couple of times to do station events over there. Radio's really gone into a global thing. In the 1980s, there were no satellites. I know you're familiar with Tom Joyner. Tom's got a
Yes.
great book. I'm just a DJ, but it makes sense to me. And hey, fly jock back and forth, Chicago, Dallas, Chicago, Dallas. But Tom wasn't the first person that really did that. Hal Jackson was the first black announcer to work for a network. And I was lucky enough to work with Hal when I was at WLIB and WBLS. So if Tom Joyner was a fly jock, Hal Jackson was the road warrior because he would start in on the same day now, do a show in DC, drive to Baltimore, do a show in Baltimore, and then drive up to New York City and do a show in New York, all three on the same day. So
Now
there's a
that's what
little
you
bit
call
of
being in demand.
yeah, well, yeah. I mean, Hal was a great guy, and after I left and went to Atlantic City, he stayed in touch. He would give me guidance as I was operating in my program director duties, and he'd write me and say, "Kingsley, here's what you should do." So I had some really good experiences. I don't want it to all seem like there was always trauma and
Right.
issues every place I worked, but every place I worked, there was something that was really uh, monumental. But I have to say, WUSS, 1974 to 1977, knowing those four black owners, knowing what they were trying to do to bring to the community, it was tough. I mean, there was a day when I was there at the station. Hey, lock the doors. You don't know who's coming to grab the equipment. I'm not the only person that tells that kind of a story. You see that kind of come up in a lot of smaller stations
Mhm.
because of it's expensive to do it and to do it well. So the audience realizes on their end, not just on an emotional level, but on a technical and professional level, that you're really doing everything correctly.
As a final question, I wanted to ask if you could give some advice to someone who may be interested.
Well,
And me and
boy, see,
Ron
this
have
is
on
how
the
much
same
we're in
side.
sync because
Yeah.
I was going to ask him because I'm listening to him and he's really a student of his industry. And I'm just wondering if he mentored maybe younger DJs or up and coming DJs. So that goes right along with what I was going to ask.
Oh, absolutely. The thing about being in management is you get an opportunity to craft the staff. You can bring in the people that you think are talented enough, or you can mold enough to move forward and go on to bigger and better things. I did that in Southern New Jersey. I did that at NPR. So yes, I mean, you can be a decision maker, but if you're a decision maker and you don't have budgetary control, that's another story. So in many of my situations, I was a decision maker, but I didn't have the final word on the budget, and that was an impediment. There was a couple of times when I worked in Philadelphia at WHYY, which is the news and information station there, a public radio station. A couple of times I was named as the acting station manager, promoted from operations manager or program director. And both of those times, I didn't get the gig, but I didn't give up. So I stayed there, and that job turned into success at NPR. So I was happy for that. But I was always mentoring. I have a chapter. Actually, I have one of the folks that I mentored. I let her write a little blurb in the book about how her experience was helpful to her. She was an intern at NPR, and I had a lot of interns, a ton of interns.
Yeah.
Nice.
Can you show your book cover one more time for
I
the
can.
audience so
Powerhouse Radio, Rough Roads, Radiance, and Rebirth, my true, and it's true, AM/FM, satellite, and audio streaming survival story.
And thank you for sharing.
Thank you, Gwen. Thank you, Rhonda. It's been a pleasure to be here.
It was a pleasure talking with you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.